the slow bike, sometimes called the beta bike or the rat bike, the dad bike or the pub bike. All names for what is usually an old steel comfortable do-it-all bike. It's a bike for short journeys, for riding with the kids, for cruising along a canal path, or down to the pub in the middle of summer for a pint. It's a bike that is normally of older vintage, so an 80s or 90s, like this 80s Peugeot for example. Very basic. Patina and scratches are all accepted and even respected in the slow bike community. It's all part of it. The scruffier it looks, the better, if I can keep my teeth in. You just find yourself an old frame with some cool graphics. Doesn't matter about the condition of the paint too much, and you just go crazy. It tends to be a lot of 26-inch mountain bikes because they just lend themselves really well to this type of build. So yeah, your slow bike, you forget about speed, you forget about the latest 11, 12 speed shifting. Go back to your trusty 6, 7, 8, 9 or even single speed. Steel, bomb-proof construction. Super heavy bikes these, but that doesn't matter in the slow bike world either, because you're not in a rush. They're bikes that you just jump on in your jeans and ride. You ride with your kids, you know, you ride to the, like I say, to the pub or down the park or along the canal. It's a different type of bike riding, and if you've never tried it before, it really is worth a try. It's like riding a bike when you were a kid, because it slows you right down and you go on a bit of an adventure, and you just kind of, you forget about all the fancy bits and pieces and you're just riding a bike. It's the closest you can get to that feeling you had when you were a kid riding a bike. It brings that feeling flooding back. Yeah, it's one of those things. It's a place for the oddball bikes, really, like bikes like this, for instance, this Trek. It's a 90s Trek. It's been resto-modded with a different stem and wider bars. It's got friction shifting on it and old school components like this STX group set with the XTR front mech on it. And that's the thing about they tend to end up being really cool looking bikes, these slow bikes, because by the time you've added a few little bits, made it your own, it becomes a really interesting bike. And whenever I'm out on one of these bikes, somebody will stop me on my ride for a chat. Baskets and bells and all the things that are unacceptable in cool cycling circles are accepted and even, you know, lusted after in the slow bike community. This is a basket bike. It's been left purposely quite ratty, as you could see from those handlebars. Just a single speed, couldn't be any more simple, and it's a great bike to ride. Some cool old race face cranks on there, the original graphics. Like I say, the patina, the scratches, all tells a story. It's all part of it with this kind of bike, with a slow bike, a beta bike. You can just go, rather than going down the Resto-mod route, for just a really nice stock out of the box example like this. This is a 1996 Timberline that's practically in as new condition, and it's a tremendous bike. It really is. You know, it hasn't had anything done to it really. It's pretty much as it came out of the factory, even down to the grips in this case. But yeah, this is a perfect slow bike. I mean, it's not going to rip along the trails like a modern bike, but there's still so much you can do. There's still so much life left in these bikes, and it's a shame to see anybody ever thinking of throwing them away, really. And then this one's had a bit of a resto mod. This one has alt bars on it, so I've gone for on one mic swept back bars. Again, friction shifting, proper old school Scott frame. You know, it's it's just a proper jump on and go usable bike, you know, that you can just do anything with, really. Cool looking paint. All the graphics and the stickers are in really good condition on this one, as it happens. And then the old 300 LX components, some funky wheels, and yeah, another one that people constantly stop me and say, oh, I used to have one of those when I was a kid or whatever. You can go silly, you can go down the big BMX route if you like. This was my my chrome burner that I never got, so it was just a cheap chrome mountain bike from Toys R Us, which I've made into basically a big BMX. So single speed, green tyres on there, single speed as you can see. Not single speed at all, one bike. I think it's a 6-speed cassette. Nice big cruiser saddle on there, and you got yourself a big BMX. It's a lot of fun, this bike, to be honest. This is a proper just riding with the kids bike, really. Not a long range machine, but yeah, another classic slow bike. And then you can go nuts. I did this one for the cheap bike build off last year. It's a rally bomber, which I turned into a bit of a sort of cafe racer design. It's yeah, it's got upturned handlebars. It's got a single speed conversion, and just I did my best to make it look like a cafe racer sort of motorbike style, with the drop bars and the Springer saddle and the chrome mud guards. It did really well in that cheap bike build off, actually. I think it got into like the final sort of 8 bikes, which I was quite chuffed with. But yeah, it's another example of a slow bike. You wouldn't want to go very far on it, but super cool. Turns heads, gets people talking wherever it goes. Yeah, just another example of what you can do with these old bits. It's actually got some Sagino cranks on it. But yeah, just another bit of a daft one. This, it was for the cheap bike build off, so it isn't super practical obviously, but still a cool bike. But yeah, you can basically you can just start out with anything. So you just find an old frame with some decent sort of graphics on it, funky sort of 90s graphics or 80s, doesn't matter if it's got chips and scratches, and you just go with it. And I would genuinely recommend to anybody that's never done this to jump on one of these old bikes and just go for a ride. It's not a fast ride, it's not a timed ride, it's not a Strava ride, it's just a slow ride. And there's a lot to be said for it. Too many people are obsessed with speed and that these days, and there's so much more to cycling than that, and it's good to slow down every once in a while, take in your surroundings and just go for a cruise. And that is best done on a cool old bike like this. It's you know, you can use them on road, you can use them off road, you can put the wrong handlebars on the wrong bike like I've done here with this orange. You can just experiment, you know. I mean, I've done proper adventure days out on this bike. It's just an old steel orange C16R that was ready to go down the skip. Again, lots of patina on it and scratches and marks, but it just looks awesome. So yeah, it's always worth just experimenting, really. There are no rules. You can do what you like. You just basically, you know, get an old frame and work from there. Like this GT that I'm sort of halfway through. I don't know where this is going to end, to be honest. It's got flared drops on it and road shifters, little stumpy stem. I got to work out the shifting and all that, but I mean, it's just a cool project. Yeah, if you've never tried it, have a look. It's a lot of fun.